was overcast. They said, "What do you expect today?" I said, "I expect 1,000 people, blue skies, and sunshine," and we got it. God bless you, Springfield! I want to thank you, and you, and you, and I want to thank you and thank you for supporting my campaign for governor here in Illinois. I ran to make you proud. I ran on our principles and our values. We ran strongly. We ran a statewide campaign. And out of 7 candidates, we finished second in the total number of counties that we won. Thank you very much for your strong support of my campaign for governor. I want to ask you a question. How many of you think that Illinois is running well? The record's unblemished. Chicago Democrats are decimating this state. We're 48th in job growth, yet a high-tax state. We're 36th in education, and our children commit the most violent crime in the country. Last year, 700 manufacturers left our state. We reached a 10-year high in the number of abortions. We're 3rd in the nation in gambling revenue, and over the course of the past 10 years, 735,000 people left our state. Let me ask you a question. If state government spends more of your money, will that solve the problem? If state government spends more of your money, will that solve our problems? I have a solution. Show us our money. Speaker Madigan, open up the books. Speaker Madigan, open the books. Speaker Madigan, open the books. Thank you. 2 weeks ago, joining with House Republican leader Tom Cross, 24 Republican co-sponsors, we introduced the forensic audit into the Illinois House. Over the course of the past 9 years, the state of Illinois has spent $500 billion. In modern times, the Chicago patronage Democrats, they are the redcoats. Speaker Madigan, open up the books. If Speaker Madigan opened up the books, what would we find? Corruption. Well, in the fall of 2009, the Auditor General found that the Illinois Tollway Authority misaccounted for $150 million. In 2007, on the Chicago Dan Ryan Reconstruction Project, it came in on time, but over budget, to the tune of $375 million. The Better Government Association filed a Freedom of Information Act request, just wanting to know the simple fact of what contractors worked on the project, and the state wrote them back saying that we don't have a list. In 2005, since 2005, the state of Illinois has spent $1.3 million to a security firm to guard the 3rd airport at Peatone. It's a cornfield. Whose relative is that? It's a good line. Thank you. Speaker Madigan does not want to open up the books. Speaker Madigan has something to hide. Speaker Madigan, open up. Speaker Madigan, open up those books. A forensic audit is a deep audit. It's an evidentiary audit. It's an audit that follows the money, and it's an audit that holds up in court. Let's stop Governor Quinn's tax hike. The state of Illinois taxes and spends at the local and the state level travel $70 billion a year, we're only a state of 13 million people. If you're a family of 4, it's $22,000 for your household. The public sector is literally cannibalizing the private sector in this state. Speaker Madigan, let's end corruption. The FBI arresting agent of Blagojevich said, if Illinois is not the most corrupt state in the country, it's sure one hell of a competitor. Speaker Madigan, let's save taxpayers money. Speaker Madigan has come out against the forensic audit of state spending. He says it will cost too much. Speaker Madigan, you cost too much.
Yeah.
There is one guy who has been there for the last 20 years as Speaker of the House, while Illinois has racked up $120 billion of long-term debt, indebting my kids, your grandchildren, for future generations in Illinois. Speaker Madigan, you cost too much. Open up our books. Now there's good news. Last week, unanimous support in the Illinois House. Speaker Madigan and not one Chicago Democrat, not one Democrat voted against a forensic audit of Medicaid spending. It passed unanimously in the Illinois House. Speaker Madigan has no problem forensic auditing doctors, hospitals, and the poor. Speaker Madigan, open up your books. The forensic audit of Medicaid is needed policy. And if it's good enough for Medicaid and the billions of dollars that we spend there, it's good enough for the $52 billion Illinois state budget.
Amen. Amen.
The people of Illinois, you and me, our legislators need to be heard on this. Go to openthebooks.com. Call your legislator. Ask them to co-sponsor the bill. This should not be a partisan piece of public policy. Kansas did it, a Democrat, and she was named that year one of the top 5 governors in America by Time magazine. Texas did it. They saved $8 billion, another Democrat. Speaker Madigan, don't make it partisan. Open up the books. In the waning days of my campaign for governor on the Friday before the Tuesday of the election, Lech Walesa, former president of Poland, best friend of Margaret Thatcher, Ronald Reagan, and Pope John Paul II, came into Chicago to endorse my campaign for governor, and he told the following story. He said, in the early days of Solidarity, when we founded that trade union that eventually brought down communism without firing a shot, the people said that was impossible. And you know what? If you added up their planes and their tanks and their machine guns, they were right. But all the naysayers missed one important fact. We had stronger principles and stronger values than the communists.